Welcome to the 2019 Grand Sumo Breakdown End of the Year Award Show. Your hosts for the evening are Ryan, Jake, Flerick, and Matt.
Welcome, everybody, to the GSB Award Show. This is your host, Ryan.
This is Jake.
This is Flerick.
And this is Mac.
And just to get something out of the way, yes, I do sound terrible and sick. I've been sick for literally a week. I am going to be coughing a lot. Get used to it.
Hey, maybe now people can tell me and you apart.
Hopefully, yeah. But that's enough talk about me and how terrible I feel. Why don't we start with our very first category and go to Mac?
All right. Our first category this year is the Newcomer of the Year, the Golden Binky. The nominees are Tomokaze, Shimano Umi, Enho, Terutsuyoshi, and one honorable mention, GSB Kyushu Yusho winner, Wakataka Kage.
It'll be a robbery if he doesn't win this.
We called him the Yusho winner because he went 4-0 and then injured, right?
He never lost on the
He
dojo.
never lost. That's
He
right.
never lost.
Everybody lost on the dojo except for Wakataka Kage. That's right. Can I change my vote to him?
No, the votes are in. The die has been cast. I don't know why I said die, but I like D&D, so got to deal with it.
The trophies have been made.
The envelope. The winner is Enho.
Deservedly so, I think. This
Indeed.
one, I don't think we disagreed on this one at all.
No, that was unanimous.
Yeah, not just the most, the guy, rising up the ranks the quickest, who didn't explode his knee, Tomokaze, but the guy, also the guy who is putting on the most entertaining sumo matches, and the one that we've been watching for several years, hoping that he would get this high someday.
Definitely high in rank, but not high vertically. Because he's so little.
Well, I mean, he can probably jump higher than most of the other Rishi.
Oh, that's true.
I'm still holding out hope he gets an extra 3 or 4 inches on him.
You don't stop growing until like 35 or something, right? Yeah, I don't know. I made
Don't get
that
my
up.
hopes up, Jake. Don't get my hopes up,
You're
man.
already
What
the tallest one here.
Yeah, what height goal are you going for?
6'3".
I mean, Jake's
I
over
believe
here
you.
at like, what, 5'2"?
Give or take.
But enough about me. Moving on to the next award.
You're right. That is enough about Mac. Let's never mention him again.
Shut up.
Speaking of Max and the disappointment of the year, we're going to be going on to the disappointment of the year. That's right, the golden season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Oh.
And
Hot take right there.
As Ryan dies, clearly like season 8 of Game of Thrones.
no, do not make me laugh. That's going to set off the coughing every time.
Well, now I have to do it.
So our first nominee for Disappointment of the Year is Hakuho's bicep injury, coming in his day 15 win over Kakuryu in the Haru Basho. He injured his bicep, tore his bicep, which kept him out of the next 2 Basho.
His
I
arm
believe.
literally fell off, if I recall.
Well, yeah, he's a Yokozuna. He just picked it up with his other arm, threw it back on, and then it didn't have the nerve to come back off. The next nominee for Disappointment of the Year is Tochinoshin, who lost his Ozeki rank twice and will be out of the Sanyaku ranks come the beginning of 2020. Our next nominee is Takakeisho's knee injury after he was getting promoted to Ozeki, forcing him to get immediately demoted back to Sekiwake, a very promising move in the career of Takakeisho, just immediately getting taken away from him after that knee injury. We also have Mitake Yumi, post-Yusho, his second year in a row that he's getting nominated for this, because it's a second year in a row where he won a Yusho and then spectacularly crapped the bed the next time running. This time so bad, it ended his streak of Sanyaku tournaments at like 15, I believe.
Yeah, almost 3 years. He's second place all time for the longest time in the junior Sanyaku ranks, or Sekiwake Komusubi.
And our final nominee is Takayasu's elbow injury that he got against Tamawashi, forcing him to miss the next 2 tournaments. For the most part, he did try to compete a little bit in one of them. And his demotion to the Sekiwake rank, ending his 15 Basho streak as Ozeki. So the envelope is in, and the winner of the Golden Season 8 of Game of Thrones box set DVD is Mitake Yumi, post-Yusho.
Ooh, well deserved. Well deserved.
Yeah. And it
Just do something, Mitaki Yumi. Come on.
I think it's really, really important to note here. 2 years running, exact same reason. I'm looking forward to Disappointment of the Year 2020, Mitaki Yumi, who gets one Basho and then between 7 and 9 wins every single other tournament.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
He's just biding his time. He's like, just survive until Hakuho's gone, and then I'll start kind of putting in.
Are you saying he's an anime protagonist?
Oh, it's he's kind of just the anime disappointing, the annoying kind of sidekick to kind of Asano Oyama, who's now the new protagonist of Sumo.
Don't you give up on Abi. Don't you dare give up on him.
It's already gone.
No.
I know. Yeah, I think it's definitely Tochinoshin and Takayasu were pretty close on that, but yeah, definitely Mitaki Yumi. You know, someday, hopefully.
It could have been Takakeisho had he not gotten his Ozeki promotion back in the Aki Basho. So I think the fact that he was able to get Ozeki back after that injury kept it away from Takakeisho. And yeah, Mitaki Yumi, just come on, man. You got so much potential. You have 2 Yushos and you're out of the Sanyaku ranks.
That has got to be, man, that's going to be one of the more interesting careers to look back on after it's done.
Yeah.
Our next award category is the Kimurite of the Year, the Golden Goombay. Our nominees are Terutsu Yoshi and Kakuryu, who both pulled off a Suso Harai. That's an outside leg trip that can cause some very dramatic falls, such as when Kakuryu landed it on Chiyotairyu, I believe it was. We also have Tochinoshin pulling off a Tsuridashi on Daisho. The Tsuridashi, that's just the straight up lift you up like a child and walk you out of the ring. That was super impressive. Natsu, day 2. Shodai pulled off an Uchari on Sadano Umi. That's the one where you're back against the Tawara and you manage to just lift your opponent out, twist them, and make them look silly when they were on the verge of victory. Our last nominee is Ishiura, who caught Nishikigi on Kyushu of day 8 of Kyushu with a Mito Korozeme, a triple attack.
Yeah, we all know what this is, Jake.
Yeah, obviously, but maybe some listeners don't know what this one is. But this is a triple attack where you wrap a leg around the opponent's leg, you grab the other leg with your hand, and also thrust your head into their chest to push them up and then over and down.
That seems unnecessarily complicated, and how could they possibly know people are going to win like that?
Right? This is written down. This is like,
Seriously.
One of 82 official ways to win a match.
Yeah. I do feel like this one's a little bit academic, but let's see what the envelope says.
The envelope has surprised us before.
But not this time. The Mito Korozeme is...
Not because we had to look that up and go, what the heck did he just do?
It was pretty friggin' sweet, and it was the first time it has been pulled off in the top division since Mai Naomi pulled it off in 1993.
That's a long time if
That's
my
a
math
long
is correct.
time. If my math is correct, that is older than the sun.
But you still have to give props to Shodai. That Uchari was just gorgeous.
It was pretty cool. So is the Tsuridashi. I mean, there's so many cool ways to win, and when you have so many matches a year, a large number of them are really cool. But this individual winning technique, when you don't see it in 26 years, I think that's a shoe-in. Probably say
Let's take
we're
a break.
done with this segment.
Thank you for the first portion of the awards. We are going to take a quick break and be right back.
We here at Grant... Oh, Jesus Christ.
Hey, here. I'm sorry.
How about, in order to protect Ryan's voice, I'm going to take over a little bit of narration duty for this segment. Cough quieter, if you would, please. For this special segment here, we'd like to propose some New Year's resolutions for the world of sumo. Ryan, why don't you, in as few words as possible, start us out?
Ozekis, show up. Win a basho.
Any wrestler whose name starts with Taka, maybe quit the abuse.
Pressure thrusters. Try something different.
Wee baby Enho, gain 100 pounds and please grow another 3 inches. You need to be bigger.
Mitaki Yumi, 2 in a row. Not Yusho wins, just good tournaments. 10-win tournaments in a row.
How about the Sanyaku ranks? Stay healthy, for once.
Teruno Fuji. Hurry up. Makuuchi misses you.
Ura, please apply more tape to your knees.
Waka Ichiro, keep the good forward momentum and make it all the way up to Makushita this year.
And lastly, Hattori Zakura, Just be you, dude. Just be you.
Change nothing.
Welcome back. For our next award, we're going to talk about the Villain of the Year award, a.k.a. the Black and Blue Tsukebito. Wait a second, guys. Oof. I literally
That's
not read it
bad.
until right now. But it's too late now, so let's keep on going. For our first nominee, we have Tochinoshin for his Henka versus Kakuryu at Natsu, which gave the Yusho to Asanoyama.
Quick note. I think we should have the hero of the year for that exact moment.
I entirely agree because I love that Henka. That was fantastic.
I apologize for the interruption.
There are also a ton
You just
of
Kanye
people.
Wested this whole thing. We are so off the rails right now.
I'm going to let you finish. But Tochinoshin had the best Henka of the year.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that, but we are also the only podcast or sumo group that thinks that way about the Henka.
You're right. We are super.
I know.
Oh, what? Hydrate, you
Stop
fool.
laughing.
Hydrate.
I'm alive.
Drink more water. Sorry, Fleric. I apologize for Ryan's interruption now.
Jeez, Ryan.
You may continue with
Get
the
it together.
nominees.
It's okay. For our second nomination, we're going to go with Hanare Goma.
Attaboy.
Yeah, is the Shimpan that deemed Tochinoshin's heel was down versus Asanoyama at Natsu.
And directly led to the Henka that Tochinoshin did, because if Tochinoshin had won that match,
Then it wouldn't have been
then it
needed.
wouldn't have been needed.
The true villain of the true hero of that whole entire thing.
Chaotic good right there.
Exactly. Third nomination, we have the Taka twins, Taka Genji and Takano Fuji, for both their attitudes this year of being dicks to the Tsukebito, and Takano Fuji was forced to retire in the end. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
That
pretty
was
self-explanatory.
Yeah,
Hopefully the last in this trend of the last couple of years where we're kind of like having a shock adjustment to modern standards on abuse.
Yeah, and that's not even mentioning the Gyoji that had to step down. I think that was
that
last
this
Oh,
year?
yeah.
That might have been
No, that
Yeah.
was
the
this
end
year,
of the year
too.
before, but also the head Yobidashi had to step down.
Yeah. It wasn't, yeah, it's not great. But
Maybe be nice to the people below you on the totem pole because, you're kind of supposed to be nice to everybody all the
yeah.
time.
And they have anonymous reporting now. So,
Yeah, which is good.
indeed. And for the last nomination, of course, we have the dastardly Tamawashi for his elbow-crushing saga Strikes Again, and when he took out, I think it was Takayasu's elbow during Nagoya.
Yet another shoe-in award. Clearly the most dastardly thing that's happened in the history of sumo.
The
What
Kotsunage
does it
is-
say on your wall, Jake?
It says Takayasu right there.
Oh, okay. Just making
Because
sure.
that's whose elbow was just annihilated on that day.
All right, let's see what the envelope has to say about this.
Who does the ironically black and blue Tsukebito go to, Fleric?
Wait, can you open the envelope?
Fleric, you're just crumbling it.
Fleric.
I'm sorry. Okay, I got it open. And the answer is the winner of the Black and Blue Tsukebito Award is the Taka twins.
I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah, well, yeah, no, that
obvious.
was-
all these other things were things which happened in the ring, which they can make you a villain one way or the other. But to be a villain outside of the ring and like as an actual person wins you the award fairly easily.
Yeah, like you said, all the others are in the ring. It's all people trying to do their jobs. Even
Yes.
making a bad call from the sidelines or whatever. Like you're still trying to do your job. Busting some dude's elbow is still you trying to win a match. But none of those guys were blatant dicks outside the ring.
Yeah.
Our next award is the Comeback of the Year, the Golden Boomerang. The nominees, Teruno Fuji, returning from Jonokuchi to make it back to Juryo 1 in 1 year. It wasn't Juryo 1 because he actually did a lot better than that, but he made it in 1 year. Did fantastic.
Right. Two Juryo in
Two Juryo
1
in
year.
1 year.
There it is.
I can read things. Our
Just
next
like
nominee.
colors.
Shut up. Our next nominee is Tochinoshin, regaining that Ozeki rank at Natsu. Clearly, another favorite that we enjoyed here. Anything with Tochinoshin, you rule, man. Next up, we have Takakeisho regaining his Ozeki status in Aki. Also amazing. And finally, we have Toyonoshima making it back to Makuuchi after. How long was he gone?
3 years.
3 years.
Holy cow.
He was Sekiwake back in 2016, had an injury that had him drop a few ranks, sit out a few tournaments, and then he finally just clawed his way back up to Makuuchi. He's not there right now, but he did make it there.
And the winner, Takakeisho.
That was a very dramatic comeback.
Clearly.
Yeah.
And now how many times have we actually seen, not counting, Tochinoshi did it as well, but that was the fourth time this has actually happened in the history of the sport?
It happened for the, I believe, 5th and 6th time, or the 6th and 7th time in the
Something
history
like
of
that,
the
yeah.
sport, where a Ozeki had dropped down to Sekiwake and needed to get the 10 wins to come back. So it doesn't happen very often, and we actually saw it twice this year.
Still single digits.
Yeah. I think the big reason why this was the comeback for the year award for me was because going into Aki, I completely counted him out. Like he was kind of, like he was like kind of complaining about injuries. He was like not really training, but maybe kind of training. And I was like, there's no way he's going to get 10 wins. But then he just started out strong and he just kept on.
And he was in the Yusho race.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think any of us had any faith in Takakeisho in the
Did we
preview
even
episode.
did we even draft him in our fantasy
No,
league that time?
none of us had him in our fantasy.
But yeah, that was really good. It's kind of diminished, I think, a little bit by the fact that it happened to Basho before that. But Terano Fuji is the first ever Ozeki to drop out of the Makuuchi division and
out of the Juryo division, I think it was.
Okay, out of the Juryo division, out of the paid ranks to keep competing in
Right.
sumo. He made it all the way down to the bottom division in Jonokuchi, and he's put together great records as he was still very clearly injured when he started fighting back at Jonokuchi. So he didn't actually win his first lower division Yusho until just this last one where he went 7-0 at the top of Makushita. So it would have been his hardest test so far to get him up into Juryo. So I had voted for Terano Fuji making it back to Juryo in 1 year after his terrible string of luck and injuries.
Yeah, I mean, in terms of unprecedentedness, that's certainly the winner. But yeah, Takakeisho, the fact that we counted him out so hard and the fact that he has now secured that Ozeki rank with a good performance in Kyushu, I mean, there's also the context that we kind of think he's one of the top guys in this next generation. And I think that context is important too, just showing that it was a one-time injury that he has gotten over and is now doing great.
Yeah, a one-time injury that was replaced by a partially torn pectoral, which he luckily got over fairly quickly.
A different one-time injury.
All right, I have the next award, and this is the punishment of the year. And we're kind of hitting this note a little hard, but this is the Golden Tsukebito.
Like the Taka twins.
Way to go, Matt.
Hitting that Tsukebito hard.
Oh,
Sorry, that was in poor taste. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize for that.
I was about to say maybe
was
we shouldn't
fantastic.
joke about that so much for something that we condemn so much on the show.
But we're going to do it anyways.
But the script has been written. There's nothing we can do about it.
And you can't edit audio.
Exactly. So, the punishment of the year, the nominees are the loser. This is a personal favorite of mine. I'm not going to lie. The loser or losers get shot with darts and must thank the winner. And that goes to Jake, Flarek, and Mac for all losing and me for getting to shoot them during the Hatsubasho. We also had the loser must read 20 prepared statements of
Substantial legitimacy.
some falsehood sprinkled in there, which I had to read out loud for the Harubasho. We also had the loser must read Sumo Erotica, which is shared by Flarek and Jake at the Natsubasho, as Flarek lost, but Jake just liked writing about fat, sweaty dudes in love.
We had to record this one right when the tournament ended, and I was in the discussion for losing it until the last day. So I had started it already and figured I would rather have us both read it than get caught with thematically appropriate, caught with my pants down and not have something ready when I needed to record it.
Our next one is another one for me, where I had to sing a parody of Oops, I Did It Again for losing the Nagoya Basho prediction series. We also had some Sumo Shakespeare, which Jake had written and read for us for his loss at the Aki Basho. And we also had Flarek, who had to eat a series of hot sauces for the Kyushu Basho, which he did not react to very well.
I hate you guys.
And the winner of the Golden Tsukebito for Punishment of the Year is Sumo Erotica for Flarek and Jake. Say some words. You're our only two nominees to be able to accept the award in person.
I have one word for you. Sensual.
I would like to thank who?
Arawashi and Chiyoshima.
Thank you, Chiyoshima.
No.
and our,
No, it was Shodai.
It's Shodai. and Chiyoshima.
There
There's
you
a
go.
third one too.
Shodai and his sensual.
It was
Shodai.
Oh, so it was Shodai, but he couldn't tell the difference between Arawashi and Chiyoshima, or they're like super
That's
similar,
what it
and he
was.
loved them both.
He was torn. Like he loved them both for their different qualities.
Yes,
That's right.
Yeah.
A very sensual story.
Exactly. So I would like to thank them for just being the inspiration to that great story and how well they can fill out a Mawashi.
Very well, it turns out. We got Basho of the Year, the Golden Kokugi-kan Award. We're going to go through these nominees chronologically. So in January, Tamawashi won somehow, and I keep forgetting that it even happened.
Remember his Kotonagas of Death.
He only managed to do that because Hakuho started 10-0 and then pulled out. Takakeisho got the Jun Yusho in that one.
Tamawashi did beat Hakuho, though.
Moving on to our next nomination, Hakuho wins in Haru in the March Basho. He goes undefeated, including a win over Kakuryu, which was notable because there were only, I think, 2 Yokozuna matches this year.
Yeah.
Takakeisho secured his Ozeki in that Basho. Next, we have Asanoyama winning Natsu. That's the one with all the Tochinoshin drama, and Kakuryu came in second place. In July, we had Kakuryu winning in the Nagoya tournament. Hakuho and Terutsuyoshi tied for the Jun Yusho.
Not a lot happening in Nagoya.
Not a lot happening in Nagoya. If we were going to travel to Japan for one Basho, I'd rather not have a whole ton of stuff that we had to record about, so that was kind of fortunate. In Aki, in the September tournament, Mitakeumi wins. Takakeisho gets second place. This one had a wide-open Yusho race unto the final day, culminated in a playoff between Mitakeumi and Takakeisho. The last Basho of the year, Hakuho wins, LOL. Just there were so many injuries, there were demoted Ozekis, there was all sorts of storylines going on, and none of them were really any good.
He won by 3 matches.
Yeah.
But he did lose. It was not a Zensho Yusho. It was
not a
Daisho.
Zensho.
Daisho got him.
Yep, Daisho, the guy that we all know about and have strong opinions
He's
regarding.
Komosubi now.
Good for him. Give me that envelope. Aki. Mitakeumi and Takakeisho
Wakiaki
going to
wins again.
Wakiaki.
Surprised it wasn't Nagoya.
I know.
After all that crap we talked about it 2 minutes ago.
The great Kakuryu won again, Nagoya. It was great.
The CAC.
Yeah,
The
this
great
one,
CAC.
there were so many injuries, just like the last time that Mitakeumi won. But
He bides his time.
he bides his time.
For the perfect
Could that
moment.
be a factor in his winning all of his Basho?
Yes.
Maybe. I think you might be onto something.
He's like spending the rest of the year like growing a spirit bomb, like in Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. And then once a year he cashes in.
Yeah, exactly.
He just focused too hard on the Spirit Bomb during Kyushu, which is what caused him to get a 6-9 record.
No, he was charging it back up.
Okay.
Yeah. Like he can't do like multiple in a row. It takes some time.
Yeah, come on, Ryan.
Yeah.
I do think it's important to note that this wasn't it wasn't necessarily the highest quality of sumo that we saw all year. Like we didn't have a Yokozuna match in this one, but it certainly provided the most in-the-moment drama. Coming down to the last day, there were like a couple matches that, depending on how they went, could have resulted in playoffs, could have resulted in somebody winning outright, and there were just, I think it was like 2 matches. I think Takakeisho and Mitakeumi both had to win on this last day to get in.
Yeah.
And then the playoff match itself was okay, but like as a whole, that Basho was very dramatic.
Yeah, just didn't know who was going to win the Yusho until that final day, until that very final match. It's something we don't get all too often.
Yep, pretty cool.
So we're going to take another quick break, get you some more resolutions, and then we'll come back with our final slate of awards for the year.
Ryan's voice is fading quickly, so I'm going to start this one off too. In this segment, GSB, we are going to share our own New Year's resolutions for sumo. Mac, why don't you start us off?
I resolved to lose less this year.
I, Ryan, resolve to not sing on this podcast anymore.
My resolution is to come up with, at minimum, 5 new spreadsheet ideas.
My resolution is to finally get that sumo erotica novel published.
My second New Year's resolution would be to learn colors.
Is this
Especially
because of the
The 4
tassels?
colors at the corners of the dohyo.
Vermilion is not viridian, despite what List Dexics think.
Oh, dear, Mac.
I am going to stop letting my hate for Goedo controlling everything I believe about sumo.
And my second resolution is to edit things in a more timely manner. Speaking of which, we'll have another bonus episode we recorded this summer coming out in a few days. I promise.
And my final resolution is to finally sell off all that Kakuryu merch I made last year. If you want a Kakuryu lunchbox, hit us up.
Keychains, bath towels,
Hats.
slippers,
Mawashi.
raincoats.
Body pillow. Welcome back. Next award, we're going to have the prestigious Match of the Year award, or AKA the Golden Kensho. For match nominee number 1, we have Endo versus Sadano Umi, Hatsu, match of the Basho.
That was a pretty good one. Endo was on the ropes like the whole time.
Yeah,
and somehow
showing off
managed to
his
come back.
god-tier Tawara ballet abilities.
Excellent.
For the second nomination, we have Hakuho versus Kakuryu, Battle of the Yokozuna on Haru during Haru.
This was a good showing from both Yokozuna.
Hakuho came out on top, but injured his own arm, or I guess
But
Kakuryu
at what
injured his
cost?
arm.
At what cost?
Well, the cost of an arm.
oh, okay.
That's what they mean when they say it costs an arm and a leg.
But whose leg? To be continued.
Yeah, we'll see.
Tomokaze's.
Just
God, no.
8 months later.
It came in late, but they got it.
All right. So for our third nomination, we have the match Enho versus Shohozan. We have for Natsu during the Natsu Basho.
Enho deserved to lose at least 5 or 6 times
And
during
he
this
just
match.
refused.
I mean, he did eventually.
Yeah, until he didn't.
But the 5 to 6 times prior to that, no. He was like, this isn't happening. I'm not going to let this happen.
It was just utter Enho nonsense.
Yeah, they put on amazing matches throughout the Jungyo tours, and every time they've met up in the main Bashos has never failed to live up to the hype. So yeah, always a fantastic match, but the one from Natsu was particularly fantastic.
I feel like Shohozan has won all of them, right?
Yeah, as far as I know.
I was going to say, because I'm pretty
At
sure
least in the
Shohozan
main
hasn't figured
tournaments,
out. Yeah. Anyways, let's get on with it. While Jake's fact
I'll look it up for you.
Let's get on to the next nomination, which is Tochinoshin versus Kakuryu, day 14 during the Natsu Basho.
That's the Henka
Henka.
match that we've already discussed, and I'm pretty sure it's only on here because of how momentous it was, in that it secured the Ozeki promotion for Tochinoshin, getting him his 10 wins that he needed to regain Ozeki. It
Also
decided the Yusho for Asanoyama, since if Kakuryu lost that match, he could not catch up to Asanoyama, and it also made a lot of people hate Tochinoshin.
Counterpoint, this was like the least technique possible in a sumo match.
Yeah, it also made me...
Hey! Henka takes some technique.
I did not realize I was opening a jar there.
Yeah,
Mental technique.
You got to move those hips. You
Mental
know?
technique, you're right.
You got to fake out that you're going to lunge forward, and then you don't.
Got to
don't.
study up your game
So
theory.
that's
for
what
all this.
Oyama failed to do. He didn't fake out his opponent. He just lunged forward.
Also, the Tochinoshin versus Kakuryu match is the only match that caused me to laugh out loud immediately after it happened.
I definitely laughed out loud, too.
Yeah, that was the only reaction. I'm pretty sure Kakuryu did too.
Inside. No emotion.
Citation needed.
Yeah.
Oh, but something I just remembered about this. So they always show replays of all the matches on NHK feed and all that stuff. They never showed a replay of the Henka against Kakuryu because you are not supposed to Henka
don't
a
do
Yokozuna.
that.
A Yokozuna's not supposed to do it to you either, although Hakuho may have a
All right.
couple in his
Yeah,
history.
yeah.
We're going to move on to our next nomination. So we have, before we keep talking about that, we have Hakuho versus Kakuryu for our next match at the Basho, and this is in Nagoya, the match. of
The
Basho.
cock beat the hack.
I think this match itself was a little bit less exciting than their other face-off, but it was also Kakuryu coming out on top, which doesn't happen a lot with those two. So it was certainly exciting for those reasons.
And it was only the second match between the Yokozuna to
Right.
date for this year.
for the entire year, and yeah, the CAC came out on top, and he won that Yusho.
For our next nomination, we have another Enho match, Enho versus Kotayuki during Aki.
This one was pretty cool. I think the moment in particular that we remember from this is Enho gets it just completely, he's dead to rights. He's pushed all the way out of the ring and somehow manages to grab onto Kotayuki's arm
Pulls out
just
some
pull
super
himself
wrestling
back
move
in.
Pull
there.
himself back in. Yeah.
Yeah, just utilizing the
The top rope that was Koto Yuki's arm.
yeah, shall we say Kotoyuki's excess of inertia in order to yank himself back in. That one was a fun one. Shut up, Ryan. The rest of the match was also very fun and just again Enho nonsense.
I've been very sick. I've lost a lot of weight.
And we're trying to record a podcast here.
I just want to survive.
Show some decorum, Ryan. Seriously.
All right, where's that envelope?
Let's find it.
You had it all along.
And the winner is Enho versus Shohozan during Natsu.
Hell
Yeah,
of a match.
well
I did look it
deserved.
up in the meantime here, and yeah, Shohozan is 4-0 against Enho in the top division.
That's what I thought.
They
He's got
have
his
faced
number.
off every Basho since then. Actually, that was their first time facing off, and yeah, the subsequent 3 tournaments they have faced off.
I really feel like Shohozan's the only smart one who goes up against Enho. So I'm kind of glad that he's been winning the whole entire time. But that particular match against them was just so fantastic because it was just so wild.
Yeah, I think this is there's an I'm not saying that we need to change sumo and that we need to add weight classes or anything, but there is an alternate universe where sumo is done in weight classes.
Like amateur
Enho and Shohozan are like the top 200 pounders or something in the world, and they're just like throwing out Yokozuna matches back and forth that are just wild. But I'm not saying we need to change in this alternate universe. I'm
'cause
good
that-
with this one.
That would take away the fun that is Enho. He wouldn't be
Indeed.
nearly as cool if there were weight classes.
We wouldn't have the Enho versus Chiyomaru matches. Yeah, like
That was another one that caused me to just laugh.
I'm just saying, somewhere out there is an alternate universe where there's some wild sumo like that, and it would be fun to see.
Gonna be a great Tachiya. God, should have hanged it.
All right, let's move on so I could take some NyQuil and go to bed.
Pass out. Our next award is the Moment of the Year, the Golden Spotlight. The nominees are Tochinoshin versus Takakeisho on day 15 of Haru. The winner got to keep his Ozeki rank, and the loser was demoted to Sekiwake.
Was Takakeisho already an Ozeki here, or was it he wins?
Tochinoshin was Ozeki, and he was sitting at 9-5. Takakeisho,
Or 7-7?
that
No,
the one.
7 and 7.
7-7, because if he loses, then he's no longer
Yeah,
an Ozeki.
sorry, that
Right.
is correct.
He was caught up
Got
on
it.
it.
Takakeisho was
Sekiwake.
Sekiwake on his Ozeki run, and he was sitting at 9-5. And so if
okay.
Tochinoshin beat Takakeisho is going to be 9-6, not good enough for an Ozeki
Remains
promotion.
Sekiwake.
Right.
But Tochinoshin is 8-7. He never gets demoted from Ozeki, vice versa. So yeah, very big moment where Ozeki is on the line for both people.
The next award is Tochinoshin, nominee, excuse me. The next nominee is Tochinoshin's win over Asanoyama is overturned on day 13 of Natsu. That heel, was it in or
That was
out?
a whole thing. That was rough.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about Tochinoshin and his like heel being down or not, but he's like, it's only him when it happens to him that it becomes this huge controversy. Like it's happened to a couple other guys where it's been close, but with Tochinoshin, and there's always more on the line when it's Tochinoshin, but for some reason this particular one just blew up on, and it's not clear one way or the other. I don't care what you say. You can't tell if it was down or not.
Oh, yeah.
First
yeah.
off,
I agree.
it was totally down. But second off, it's because we love Tochinoshin. That's
It's
why.
true.
Yeah, that's true.
Anytime anyone tries to say that he wasn't the winner for that match, even when he wasn't the winner, we get ruffled.
So that's what you're saying right now.
Yes,
So I
am
have every right
ruffled.
to be ruffled, you mean?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure that was clear.
I don't think it touched.
And the third nominee is Tochinoshin again with his Hanka against Kakuryu, securing his Ozeki promotion and an Asanoyama Yusho day 14 of Natsu.
Oh, have we talked about this one yet?
I think we might have mentioned this one before.
We can move on to the next nominee.
All right,
I
moving
think.
on. Next nominee is the Aki playoff between Mitakayumi and Takakeisho. Because seriously, how many times have we seen a playoff?
Not since exactly 2 years ago from that Aki. It was Aki 2017.
Harumafuji
Goedo versus
Goedo.
Harumafuji.
Yeah, that one was cool. I think this one, the playoff was a huge moment. The only thing to take away from it, I think, is that the match itself was iffy. It wasn't really all that dramatic.
No, it wasn't dramatic at all. It was just a quick Mitakayumi railroad to Takakeisho.
And the last nominee, the Juryo four-way playoff between Azumaryu, Kaisei, Ikioi, and Kiribayama.
Mostly in the same vein. I mean, how often do you get to see a four-way playoff?
Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, holy cow.
I think it probably is more likely in Juryo where you don't have any Yokozuna caliber guys. But
Yes.
regardless, it was fun. Azumaryu
Oh,
came out on
absolutely.
top, and he'll be back in Makuuchi in January.
All of these guys will be in
well,
Makuuchi
yeah.
in January.
It was just nice to see all the former Makuuchi mainstays that we saw when we started watching. Jake's favorite, Ikioi, not looking like a mummy for once. Kaisei looking great. No,
I
it was,
don't
it was
recall
good all
ever
the way
saying
around.
Ikioi was my favorite.
Moving on. The envelope.
I do like
please.
talking about him, though.
We have a tie. We have a tie between Tochinoshin's Henka against Kakuryu and the Aki playoff.
I mean, clearly
There you
Tochinoshin's Henka against Kakuryu.
Yeah, who voted against the Henka?
That would be Flair.
Nobody important, Ryan?
No, I think the people that do the most podcasting on this podcast actually voted correctly on this. So
I don't know. Did you?
I don't know.
Like, that was a pretty good Henka, but
You're right. It was great.
What? So, Mac and Flerick, I don't want us to argue. Just explain why this was your moment of the year, and then Jake and I will explain why the Henka was our moment of the
because you guys are wrong. First off,
Oh, clearly.
yeah,
year. Great way to
And
not start
terrible.
an argument.
yeah. No, I think the big thing for me was just kind of the whole. For me, the narrative of 2019 is kind of like the old guard kind of going away. The Yokozuna are definitely getting older and older, and they're taking kind of more boshes off. And it's kind of the new guard. We're seeing a lot of youngsters start to kind of step up and actually kind of compete for these Yushos. And this Aki playoff was definitely that. There was like no Sanyaku at all, because no Ozeki plus at all, because they were all injured. And so they had a very close match that ended in a playoff. And this time it was Takayumi that kind of took out with the win. And so I think when I think of 2019, I think of that, just that's what the year was about. And this was just the culmination of this. We're going to probably see very many matches between Takayumi and Takakeisho
In that
in higher ranks.
Yeah, in that same vein, looking back at Takakeisho's performance just this past year, everything that he's done, demotions up to Ozeki, demoted back down to Sekiwake, fought back, got the 10 wins, reclaimed his Ozeki status. Mitakayumi being a little lackluster, but still good nonetheless. We've been wanting him to continue on. We've been wanting him to put some type of an Ozeki run together. Granted, he's still working on that. I think he's back on the drawing board again. But it was great just to see. And like what Flerick was saying, these guys are the new ones coming up. They're the new guard, and it's fun just to see them perform. Mitakayumi's still working on that.
Yeah, I feel like Mitakayumi is like the Goedo of the 2020s.
Except always at Sekiwake.
But Ryan doesn't hate him yet.
but maybe not even quite.
Ryan doesn't hate him yet.
I mean, he's quickly turning me the other direction with his back and forth performance.
Yeah,
Understandable.
To defend the Henka, I understand that it's not like 100% positive of a moment. Like, it's very polarizing, of course, in the sumo community. But I think the fact that I don't think there is any other single moment, single incident, single match, anything like that provoked as much discussion or as heated of discussion. And I think that's a big factor to me. Like, that's the thing that the most people talked about and got fired up about. And for me, it's the one individual match I'm going to remember for years. Just like we were talking about before, I leaned back and laughed, like just laughed out loud.
I think we all did.
It was absurd. And I don't think anything else touches that. The playoff, I totally buy into the idea of the narrative. I'm with you there. I just think this Henka was a little bit above it.
Yeah, for me, Tochinoshin was the guy of 2018. I mean, I think he won our moment of the year, our Rikshi of the year, probably a couple of other awards. And so this is a guy that we've been cheering for a year and a half now, and he just lost his Ozeki promotion. He had that injury. It wasn't like necessarily due to just bad performances, because he was injured. And so now we're seeing him fight back, and we all want to see him get the Ozeki promotion back. And then on top of that, if Kakuryu loses this match, Asanoyama wins the Yusho, his first Yusho. And so that's another thing that this match has going for it. And just how Tochinoshin went about this match, just to go for the Henka against Kakuryu, which you're not supposed to do against a Yokozuna, and just how it flipped the opinion of so many people. Everybody's cheering for Tochinoshin. Who doesn't want to see Tochinoshin get his Ozeki promotion back? And then-
Flerick, apparently.
What are you talking about? I love the Henka.
He's the gorgeous Georgian, man.
I love him more after the Henka.
But after the Henka, just a lot of people turned on Tochinoshin. All of a sudden, he's not the most loved guy anymore. He's a very polarizing figure in the sumo world now because of that Henka. And I think a lot of people, just his performance this year has been very disappointing, and it's very much due to injuries. But I think the moment it's my moment of the year because it secured his Ozeki promotion. It secured the Yusho for Asanoyama, and it turned so many people's opinion of the biggest guy in, I would say, outside of Japanese sumo culture, like European and American sumo culture and like Australian sumo culture. Tochinoshin is probably the most popular guy.
Sure. He's up there. Yeah, to paraphrase the Hogwarts sorting hat, he did great things. Terrible, but great.
That was Ollivander.
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the wand guy.
You know, if I'm going to have to take Harry Potter hate for this episode, so be it. I'm already over it.
Slytherin.
We will let your wife know.
She'll listen to this, criticize me, and then I still don't think I'll care. Oh well.
Orion finishes dying.
Now get it all out.
I'll finish dying when I damn well please, which is going to be in like 5 minutes when this podcast is over. But I have a job to do, and that's to read off our final award, the Rikishi of the Year, the Golden Emperor's Cup, which
The
is
most
already
prestigious.
golden.
Yes.
That's a good point. Or is it silver? It's the most prestigious award in all of sumo. I
The
can
rare
tell you
metal,
that.
the rare earth metal cup.
Yes.
Perhaps platinum, tantalum, or something. Ooh. I don't know. I'm just trying to show off my chemistry knowledge here.
The first nominee. Somehow still on this list because he won a Yusho, Tamawashi. He won a Yusho. He took out an Ozeki. He's our first nominee for Rikishi of the Year.
And moving on to the legitimate nominees.
Our second nominee is Hakuho, winning 2 Yusho and another June Yusho in the year. Also missing 2 or 3 tournaments as well.
About 2.5, yeah.
Yeah, but he did have the most Yusho wins of the year with those 2. We also had Asanoyama, who won the Yusho back in Natsu. He also kind of cemented himself in the Sanyaku ranks with his past 2 performances. He also has a June Yusho, and he had the most wins in the Makuuchi division this year.
Whole bunch of special prizes, too.
Whole bunch of them. And we also have Kakuryu, who won the Yusho in Nagoya and probably did some other things, but that's about it for Kakuryu.
Got hankered.
That's the big one.
Yeah. And we also have Mitake Yumi, who was in the Sanyaku ranks for most of the year until this final boss. Actually, he was in the Sanyaku ranks for the entire year.
Yeah.
And he won the dramatic playoff. Well, getting to the playoff was dramatic. The playoff wasn't so much. But Mitake Yumi winning that Yusho in Aki and putting together, he was in the top 5 in wins of the year, I believe.
Yeah, for sure. And until January, he had not missed any matches in his career.
Oh yeah, he did miss some matches back in January.
Yeah, he had an injury, but he was Komusubi. He went 5-1, pulled out for 3 days, and then came back to get just his 8 wins to secure his rank.
All right. Those are our 5 nominees, and the winner is...
You didn't have to rip the envelope.
Yeah, quit ripping it.
It's a big envelope. It's the most prestigious award in all of sumo.
It does have to fit a whole golden cup.
It's a lot of paper.
Some assembly required.
And the winner of the Golden Emperor's Cup, which may or may not already be golden, is Asanoyama.
Yay!
Slight boo.
Oh, shut up. We know you wanted Hakuho to win.
Yeah, I was the only one who voted against Asanoyama. I think Hakuho, like, literally, objectively on paper, had the most accomplishments this year. But at the same time, like, if Wayne Gretzky scores a goal in a game, you're like, eh.
Yeah, it's like LeBron James, who could legitimately win the MVP in basketball
be
every
like,
single
meh.
year, but they haven't given him to him for like a decade because it's just like, yeah, it's LeBron James. That's what he does.
Yeah, it's Hakuho. Of course he's going to win a couple. So
Flair,
like, whatever.
do you know who LeBron James is?
Is he some kind of hockey
Pick a
player?
sport. Oh, no.
No, he's basketball. I know that. I know that stuff.
Yep.
Yep.
Good
Anyways,
about them sports.
Asanoyama, I mean, like we've been talking about, he's the next guy. I mean, you know, we've
One to watch.
every tournament we talk about him. You know, this year he's really come into his own. He's Sekiwake the first time now.
He seems to actually be someone who's consistently performing.
Right.
Which has kind of been we haven't been seeing that from a lot of the new up-and-comers.
Yeah, he's the guy that's designated the next big thing
Mm-hmm.
at this point, and he really showed this year why he has that designation.
So far, so good. We'll see.
Yeah, hopefully
Stay healthy. Stay healthy.
Yeah.
He has a real chance to shine. He's going to be Sekiwake for the first time in his career to start off 2020. So he's got a real good position to launch 2020 and make it to ever higher heights, possibly Ozeki.
Here's hoping for Austin Oyama.
All right. Before we get to the part of the show, which always devolves into us yelling at each other, let's just get the usual stuff out of the way. If you enjoy this podcast, you can leave us a 5-star review at, I was going to say Sumo Podcast.
SumoPodcast.com. Go there and rate us as the best one.
Or Apple Podcast if you want a website that exists.
You can find us on social media, Twitter and Facebook, Grand Sumo Breakdown.
GrandSumoBreakdown.wordpress.com is our blog where all of these are posted and additional goodies.
If you have any questions, comments, or corrections, or hey, you just want to chat with us, we are more than happy to talk with you. Drop us a line at grandsumobreakdown@gmail.com or give us a call at 805-613-7866. That's 805-613-SUMO.
All right, Jake, why don't you tear this family apart?
All right, and the final category is the GSB Host of the Year. The nominees are Fleric, who's over there, Mac, who remembered his headphones this time,
Yes, I did.
Ryan, who's getting all of us sick, and Jake, who hosts the podcast recording in his home and does the editing afterwards. Did a whole bunch of work on this outline. Is the only one who can apparently work a highlighter on Google Docs.
I'm used to
So-
Microsoft Word.
I'm going through the nominees here. If you'll please give me some space.
So a lot
no,
of stuff that's not hosting, you're really good at. is what I'm
Correct.
hearing.
As I say, this is just the busy work.
Also, if you're going to bring up editing, how long did it take us to get that game show
And the
episode
winner
out?
is, despite what it says in this envelope, I am going to make an executive decision and award it to Jake, the GSB Host of the Year.
I am fighting sick.
The votes are in. I don't know what to tell you guys.
How many of you people have put our listeners through this crappy voice and cough throughout an entire episode just because you refuse to miss an episode?
You're right. That
I
is
made
really
you
a poor
sing.
showing.
You lost. I made you sing. Our listeners have been through your crappy voice plenty.
Jake did pretty good this year.
Whoa, hold on there,
Hey,
Flair.
thanks.
You
Why
didn't
are
do
you
too bad.
defending?
I would vote for Fleric before I vote for Jake.
You two turds voted for yourself. I voted for myself. But Fleric voted for me, so it's fair and square. And Fleric, don't check the votes.
Say, wait a minute. That's not his handwriting.
You can't take anything Fleric says seriously.
I thought I voted for Enho.
He hasn't been He hasn't been thinking straight ever since the hot sauce incident.
Clearly, his senses are still fried.